Bose was like, it's a trick. It's the art of war. And I was like, listen to this woman.
Because you said Art of War, it took me right
Mhm.
back to Camille Grammer reading the book. And I'm like, Bose is kind of like, she's like a benevolent Camille Grammer. In other ways, she sees everyone's issues right through. But then look at her own personal life, and you're like, oh, you're missing the calls coming from inside the house, Bose. Keely Grammer. Yeah, he has a mistress in San Diego.
We gonna stir it up and do things our way. So if you wanna move, get out of our way.
Hey.
Oh, happy pre-Valentine's Day.
Woo, yeah.
I love you guys.
I do too. I love us too.
I thought you were gonna call it prenup. All I heard was the pre, and then I was like prenup-entine's Day.
It should be a holiday.
I mean,
in Beverly
honestly,
Hills it is.
Look, I've said it before. Marriage is a business, so it really should be. It's not about love. It's about money.
I mean, Housewives teach us that. This episode in particular, this franchise teaches us that, and this episode is a crash course in it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So if you guys can't figure it out, we're back here for Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. And we continue off in Augusta, Georgia, with that sweet angel of a mother.
Very, very.
I would say, like, before we talk about sweet angel Reba, if we can just remind everybody while they're here to subscribe to our YouTube channel. I always forget to do this at the beginning. I don't think we're going to hit 1,000 subscribers by Valentine's Day, which is tomorrow, if you're listening to this on Thursday. But try to help us. Try to help us hit 1,000 subscribers. Be our Valentine. Show us the love. So just hit that little subscribe button. Cost you nothing.
Show us the support that Reba doesn't show Sutton. Yay!
That's it.
And it's free.
Mm-hmm. You can tell us that you're proud of us by hitting subscribe.
Oops, my vanity light fell off. I apologize.
We got Jordan so excited he dropped his light.
But so this was interesting though with the episode, because we see we discussed a little bit earlier, but obviously it opens, Kyle's coming into the kitchen with Reba, and as we see, Reba likes Kyle way more than she likes Garcelle, because it's easy. And by easy, I mean Kyle doesn't question her. Kyle is just and like I've said before, I think Kyle knows how to navigate these situations and these mothers. She's raised by the mother of them all. So she knows how to just be respectful and keep her distance and not be an issue.
Reba still roasted her for basically calling her an idiot for running in the wrong direction.
Oh, yeah.
What did she say? You would have run to China and back or something bizarre like that? Yeah. And then for some reason roasted her. It was a very specific time. Kyle came back in at 11:18 a.m. and Reba's like, you're running too late. You got to go out at 6 a.m. or something like that. And I respect that because Reba, I do the same thing.
You guys could be
Reba's
running
not
buddies.
wrong. Yeah.
Honestly, I could hang. I think I could hang with Reba. Sure.
When you're dealing with southern humidity, yes, you run first early in the morning. You do everything outside early in the morning because the rest of the day is spent inside in air conditioning.
Yeah. She did. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, I come from a very large family. My mom's the youngest of 8, all from rural Missouri, not Missouri, Missouri. If you know, you know. So I have a lot of Rebas in my family. So I probably would get along with her just fine.
You know how to navigate.
I know how to navigate. Yes.
Reba,
though they built up the whole, with last week with the Garcelle, the scarf, where she didn't seem to like it very much, and then of course they kept promoting the "mind your business" line, or "I don't think that's your business" or whatever. So going into this episode, you're like, oh God, what is Reba? What's she going to say? Is she going to say something? But then as you watch it, you're like, oh no, she's just an ornery person. She's ornery to everybody. Like she spent the whole episode like ripping into everybody.
I mean, she did admit she's not a nurturer.
Yes.
Which I've known
And
some people some mothers who aren't nurturers, and they never admit it. They don't see it, which is almost slightly scarier in that Reba's aware of who she is and what she does. She's just not changing it. It's a choice. It's almost by choice.
Yeah. It's Garcelle hit the nail on the head in her confessional kind of towards the end of that package, which was that at first she was like, Reba got hurt at some point and then shut down. And then she said, no. I think Reba was jealous of that relationship that Sutton had with her father, and that hurt. And I was like, I think it's both. I think it's both of those things that both can be true. I mean, and she even said that her father was hard on her growing up. So there's just a lot of, and that made me think, I was like, these parents who don't deal with their pain end up putting that pain then on their children, their adult children even. And then it just continues this cycle. So the irony that she's like a therapist / social worker, and
wait. Can we pause about that? Because that blew my mind when it was revealed that Reba is a therapist. I was like, what? A physical therapist? Is therapy like some kind of, I don't know. I don't know, but I looked it up, and she is a licensed clinical social worker. She's and I think it's brilliant on her part. Maybe she knew how this was going. So she mentioned right away she's retiring this past September before the season aired, because I don't know.
You don't think people were
guidance and comfort?
People were looking her up in the yellow pages in Augusta, Georgia after watching this?
Maybe some people need that. Maybe they need tough love.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think Sutton's brother had it too. Like that's another reason that she was so hard on him. The therapists are guarded. Like, I don't know if I don't have any family that are therapists, but I have a lot of friends. And it's always kind of strange talking to them, because sometimes you talk to them for a while and you realize they're doing the therapy thing to you. You just be in a random conversation with like a friend of mine. I'll just be in a random conversation and she'll say something like, well, how do you feel about something? And I'll start talking and be like, oh, wait, am I in a therapy session? So sometimes they do have to be standoffish so that they don't make people uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Having some issues over
there. I've been told I should be. My aunt's a therapist, and she told me I should be one. It's like, oh, I just like to listen because I'm nosy, though. I don't really have anything to offer.
I think that's a great reason, though. That's a great reason.
Yeah.
Well, but also like I think, I don't know, because every therapist is different, is a human being though too, and there might be also too, because she comes from the land before time.
Yeah.
And when it comes to therapy and also being Southern and everything like that, and that, maybe she felt that she used up all her compassion at work. And so then when she came home, she didn't have any more compassion to give. And so like that was on, I don't know. That would be interesting. But obviously I think just like Kyle said, she's 82 years old. She's not going to change.
Right.
And she's absolutely right. You're not. I think, what happened towards the end of the episode, the kind of the thawing of the detente that the two have, I think that was good. That might be the best that they get, for a while. And if that works, that's good enough for Sutton, then I think that's good.
Well, I caught something too in this opening where they're going through their issues. And it's a two-way street, because did you catch Sutton in her confessional? She still she blames Reba for her father's death.
Yeah, that she was in the house and that didn't see the signs, or did see the signs and ignored them.
Yeah, she said she knew, she was in the kitchen. She knew he was on Xanax pills, drinking, wanted to kill himself, and there was a loaded gun in the house. So that's where I could see why Reba might be a little annoyed with her, is that the man killed himself, and she's obviously Sutton was more fond of the father than her. So instead of blaming the father for killing himself, she blames the mother somehow. So by the way, their maiden name is Brown. I was going to call them the Stracke family. It's Sutton, Thurman, Brown, Stracke. The Brown family seems a little
middle name is Thurman.
Yeah.
Like as in Strom Thurmond?
I'm thinking maybe Reba's middle name. Maybe Reba's maiden name. Maiden name is Thurman. I don't. But yeah.
Guys, my grandfather's name is Thurman. So Sutton and I were just meant to be.
This is the Valentine's Day episode that you and Sutton needed to like finally. This is kismet. It's supposed to happen.
Reba's gonna this time next year. I'm spending Christmas with Reba. It's gonna be great.
Yeah,
great.
Yes, I'm excited. Maybe for all the TikToks.
I hope Avi's there just so I can just watch Reba roast Avi. I could watch that the entire episode. How their interactions are amazing.
I have to say, like, I think like probably Sutton seems like a pussycat next to Reba when Avi is like dealing with the two, because oh my gosh, like she makes me think of customers when I used to be a server and a bartender, customers I would want to spit in their food for. I never spat in anybody's food. I never did that because there is the fear of God, even though I don't believe in God, still in me, that I'm just like, no. And there's cameras everywhere too. But there's sometimes you're just like, fuck this person.
When Avi's like, do you want a vodka lemonade? No. And
what else you got?
Ice? No, I don't like this ice. No.
Yeah. I don't like that ice. Like as if they're supposed to know. And like he's asking her about the food, and she's like, "Turn it off, like you stupid idiot." He's like, "Well, I'm asking for your advice."
And then the great callback at the end when she's talking to Sutton and opens the ice box. He's like, "Who put this ice in here?" "Oh, I know who did it." And it was like, "Oh wow,
yeah,
wow." And when Avi's like, "Are you gonna get ready for breakfast? Are you gonna get dressed for brunch?" And she's like, "I am dressed." What the hell do you mean? Why would I need to get dressed?
I fully support that. I think when you are 82 years old, you can wear whatever the fuck you want to. And especially if you are in the South and it is humid and it is hot, I would be wearing a loose fitting tank top and shorts all the time. I don't care if it matches. I will be that old woman. I don't give a flying F. Like not everybody can be Iris Apfel, like, and dress to the nines all the time. Like, no, I would dress like Reba and be like, I am dressed. I am not changing. This is not 1890s Manhattan where I got to change 15 times a day for all of my callers and then dinner and lunch and supper and tea and everything. No.
It kind of is what you're describing as Patricia Altschul.
Yeah.
We are not getting Patricia Altschul with this woman.
No. Absolutely not.
No. Something I caught too with that little brunch scene there is I felt bad for Kyle when they called her out for not eating the grits, because I know why she didn't. I've never had grits either, but I imagine that it's like carbs.
Yeah, it's
she
like
was
oatmeal,
eating
basically.
around. Yeah, she was eating around the carbs, and they all called her on. She's like, "I was going." No, she wasn't. She wasn't going to have a bite of that.
No, of course she wasn't.
No.
And then another dig. Reba's like, "Oh, she probably put sugar on it, like a northerner." There's actually no bigger insult a person from Georgia can call you than a northerner.
Absolutely.
What else happened? I mean, then they cut back over to Erika, very proud of her redecorating. Blah blah blah. We're supposed to. She's emerged from the ashes of Tom
Phoenix.
Gerard.
Yeah.
This is one thing that bugs me because she's doing so well, and she did this last season in Spain. She needs to let us forget about Tom Girardi. Every time you start to feel good for her, she calls back to him. And she's like, people didn't want to like see me redecorate and get my new Porsche. And yeah, we still do, but we're trying to forget that. Live in the moment with you, Erika.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah, that was it. She did that last season too, just as we were like, wow, Erika's fun. We're like, God damn it, she's proud of those earrings again. Stop fighting for those earrings. Let us like you.
I will say though, I agree with her. a little change of paint in a place can just change everything. Just paint something. Just paint it.
Yeah, the
Paint
hallway
it.
look. I don't recall what. I guess the hallway was just white before, but those black that looked cool. It looked great. I don't know if it was the what was the last week? Was it like a $30,000, $37,000 bill or something? I think she was. Yeah, I mean, so hopefully it's worth it.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess so. Anyway, but then we've got Bose talking to her daughter Lael about having a baby, and I was like, please not this again, because I know I feel like I'm coming off so harsh on Bose when it comes to Keely and when it comes to this baby thing, and I am just because I'm protective of a woman that I do not know. So, but I really kind of hope that this whole baby thing is a storyline, to be honest with you, because I'm not telling a woman what she should do with her body, but having a child at 50, because like, let's look now, she's 48 now when this is coming out now. And like having a child at 50, like that kid is going to be finally graduating college or high school, and you're almost 70. And then the thing is now you're asking a teenage daughter if you're okay with having a baby, and not even this child herself can't even think of the fact that, oh, wait a minute, my mom is having a child so late. Who's going to take care of this child if my mother gets ill or God forbid anything happens to her? Guess what? It's me. That's a lot. Like literally Lael could be taking care of her mother and a child at the same time, and a child that is not her child. It is her sibling. Like,
it is weird that they like or keep putting like the cart before the horse with the child thing. Like when she asked her daughter, she said, "Would you be okay with me having another child?" And there was a really awkward long pause where Lael was like, "Yeah, okay." It was just awkward. But then Bose realized she asked that before even asking, "Do you even like?" Or didn't flat out say, "Do you like Keely?" She said something like, "Are you okay with Keely?" Like after asking that, after asking if it'd be okay to have a baby. And it's the same thing when she talked to the ladies later, where it's saying, "Well, we're talking about a baby, but we still haven't said I love you to each other." It's just very weird.
This is where Bose. There are like two sides of her with this show, because on one hand, with the women, she is the logical one, the businesswoman. She's very direct and she sees everything. But you see this a lot with people who are really successful in one aspect. In her private life, this is a little messy. She seems a little needy. She wants this baby. She's trying to force this relationship with Keely. Look, we know at this point they're still not engaged or married, which she said was a condition. So she would be having the baby at 50 plus. I mean, she just seems kind of like needy and like she's being played by him, where in every other aspect of her life, she's decisive.
I mean, he just seems kind of shady. I hate to say that because he's been on so little, you don't know much about him. But the way that Bose explained, the way that Lael met her was when he crashed their trip in Ghana. He just showed up in Ghana. And at that point, Lael was just like, "Oh, I thought this was your friend." And he followed us to Africa. It's just, there's something off. It's very strange.
It's love bombing. And I'm also like, look, he lives in San Diego. You guys have a long distance relationship. You don't know this man. And I had a long distance relationship with a guy who lived in San Diego for over a year. And I thought that I knew that guy. And then after I broke up with him, I realized, no, I didn't, because then things started to get serious. And I started to go, oh, this is who this person really is. And I was like, I don't think so. And so like, no, when you have a long distance relationship, even just to somebody from LA to Orange County or LA to San Diego, that's long distance. And you don't know this person. You're not living with them. You don't live in the same city. You're not spending like 4 nights a week with them, stuff like that. You're not seeing all of these things. She does not know this man. She doesn't know him.
And he sort of gives vague answers. Like they showed the callback to the beach where she said, like, well, like, where do you see this? Do you see marriage? And then he just, what did he say? He's like,
I see you and me.
No, this is what he said, because I literally wrote this down because I was like, he gives vague answers. And she says, "Are you dating for marriage?" And he said, "That's the only reason I date." And then she said, "Well, where are we in that process?" And he said, "It's me and you."
Yeah.
No. And this is the thing, as a woman who has been played, I admit it, I've been played. Those answers sound great in the moment. But when you like have time to reflect back on them, and especially if you've had them filmed and you can watch them again, that's when you go, that's not really an answer. That's not really, like, it sounds very nice in the moment, but it's not a real answer. Because like, are you dating for marriage? The answer I would want to hear is, I'm dating you for marriage. I am interested in marrying you, and I want to find out more about you. Or like, where are we in this process? I am falling in love with you. Or it's more of a like, I'm falling in love with you. I'm thinking about marriage with you, yada, yada, yada. Or we're getting to know each other right now and I'm having a good time. And that's when I would go, well, after 8 months, I don't think so. Like at 47.
It was the episode several episodes back when Bose had the surgery. In the car right beforehand, she said, I'm paraphrasing, I don't remember, something along the lines of, "Are you nervous from me having the surgery?" or something like that. And his answer should have just been yes or something. But he was like, "Well, I get nervous when anybody I'm close to has a surgery." It was just a very odd answer to her specific question. Just say, yes, I'm thinking about you, not everybody in your life. It was just it's just all these weird little answers.
Yes. He's not, this is what I'm going to say. He's not that into her. I think he's into her power. I think he's into her money. I think he's into her looks. I think he's into everything around her, all the superficial things, but I do not think that he's really into her.
It's fun. Like, I wish she'd wake up with this. I'm like rooting for her because she doesn't need him. This kid thing, this kid thing does feel a little storyline-ish, I have to be honest. And she doesn't need him for she's essentially like retired, right? She has money, she has a kid, she has her own everything. So this kind of this neediness from him, like, I'm not, but remember when Ramona announced she might be pregnant in an episode?
Yes.
I'm feeling, this is the vibe it's giving me. I'm like, not saying that Bose is faking it. I'm just saying maybe she needs to hear from us, but this isn't how to launch your.
She does. As 3 people who do not know her personally, she needs to hear exactly what we feel.
I met her and I didn't offend her, so that's right.
That's actually.
So you've got the foot in the door. We can pry it open.
The fact that she wasn't immediately freaked out by me.
It's good.
Yeah.
That's good. Well, I think we should take it back to Augusta, back to when Sutton and Garcelle and Kyle go to her childhood home, which is the house where her father killed himself. What was interesting, I automatically, now you guys don't watch the show, but I watch Married to Medicine. I think it's one of the greatest shows on Bravo. So just saying, I know there's other people out there who feel the same way I do. But it reminds me of several years ago, Heavenly, one of the Heavenly, the dentist, Heavenly took Dr. Jackie and Dr. Simone down to Miami, Florida, which is where she grew up, and took her down there, and they went to her childhood home. And it was very cathartic for Heavenly, because Heavenly is like, she's one of the funniest women, but she also, like, if she gets mad at you, she just bites. She just like comes out with like a scorpion's tail, just like, we'll get you. And they saw where she grew up, and the tiny room that her mother kept her in, and how she was never allowed to go out and play and everything like that. And it was so sad. And it just was like, and they both got to really know who she was and like understand her better. And I felt the exact same way of Garcelle and Kyle really getting to know who Sutton was better, like through seeing the pain that like Garcelle kind of felt, like, in the fear of like going into this house. I mean, they were very different homes, let me just say, very different neighborhoods,
a little bit.
But again, it's kind of that thing of like, we're all human and we definitely have similar experiences. We're not as different as we think that we are. And these are also all 3 women who have lost a parent, you know, too. So it's like, yeah, I think it was, I found it I cried a little bit. I'm crying even talking about it now. Like, but anyway.
I made notes on that because, okay, first of all, Sutton said healing journey, and I wanted to
Barf.
yeah, Whitney Rose. She said it with a Southern accent instead of a Utah accent. It wasn't Hill in, but
it's my healing journey.
yeah. But I had mixed feelings about doing that stuff, and I thought I sided with Reba there, where she's like, I'm not going there. I'm not looking there. It's like in the past. Because my thinking was, I was like, this is how you get like 2 Grey Gardens when you keep revisiting the past. Obviously, Sutton hadn't been there in a very, very long time. But I was just like, I see where Reba, because Reba tells Sutton later when they're kind of bonding a little more. I was raised, you keep moving, you survive. And I was like, yeah, you don't need to go back. Reba doesn't need to go revisit that kitchen. So for me, I got that. But for the purpose of the show, showing, it was also good too, because we don't really know a lot about, we know Sutton now as this very rich, but she didn't grow up in LA, so we don't have references to where she grew up. So she did show us like the circumstances in which she was created.
Yeah. I mean, I'm with you on Reba. Like, I was like, I can understand why Reba wouldn't want to go.
Yeah.
I can 100% understand and agree with that. And yeah, and then we got to see that, that Sutton grew up, I would say, just more like typical middle class, probably Augusta. That's what it seems like.
Oh, I also for our own research looked up the value, because
Of course.
Yeah, so Sutton's house it's worth about $1 million, $1.2 million right now. They paid $800 for it back in the 2000s. So because I was trying to gauge like where, and then her childhood home, and I think that's the better part of I don't know Augusta, guys. I've been through the Atlanta airport on layovers. So I was looking it up from top, because then my mind went, where does Tinsley Mortimer live? Because I want Tinsley to live in like a palace because she's a princess, but I couldn't find anything for sale in Augusta for more than 1.8. God forbid. No, but so I was just trying to like figure out their circumstances.
I thought it was interesting the entire time that they've been there. Sutton has been wearing a master's necklace. It's it's a medallion, a master's medallion that she's been wearing. And I've never seen her wear that before. Only on this trip have I seen her wearing that.
I wonder if she is a member of the Augusta country, what's it called? The national, where the
Augusta National.
Yeah. Because they did, I don't know if they filmed it. I need to go back and do the time, but she does end up bringing Rick and Kathy there, Hilton. It must have been after this trip, but for the Masters, and I remember photos of them in Augusta. So I don't know if that's filmed though, like, or if it's, I don't know. I want to see Kathy and Reba in the same room. That's why my mind went straight to that Instagram post. I was like, what would that be like?
Well, up until not that long ago, she couldn't be a member at Augusta. They didn't have female members until like 15 years ago. So Christian might have been a member, but they wouldn't let her.
True.
I don't know if like you said, you did look up that house. Do you know when that house was built? Like her Sutton's?
I believe it was like 18. It's not antebellum. The house did not contain.
The moment I saw it, honestly, anytime you're that far in the South and you see those columns, you're like, oh no.
It was done
and I don't even know.
Yeah.
I don't even know which is worse, if it were an actual home from antebellum or a home built later to look like a home from antebellum. I'm not sure which is worse, to be honest.
Oh yeah. Wow. She just enjoyed the spirit of it all.
The spirit of slavery.
1891 it was built. So
okay. All right. Okay.
If that helps.
Yeah. I guess.
Well, let's go back to the West Coast, the best coast. Let's go because we jumped ahead and we already talked about the lunch with Erika and Boz and Dorit, and we kind of already talked about Boz and her talking to the women about wanting to have a baby, and about talking about her and Keely have never said "I love you" because she's waiting for him to say it. And I'm just like, yeah, if you're talking about having a baby, if you're bringing up having a baby with somebody who haven't said I love you, I'm sorry, that's just no. I don't, does not compute. I also wrote, I feel like she's justifying this lack of relationship to the girls, like the way that she keeps talking about it. And I because I've done that before. I know other friends have done that before, and she just wants this so badly. I think like she just wants it to work with him so badly.
She sees the problems and like Dorit's, she can see Dorit and PK's issues immediately. But when it comes to her own, her judgment's a little cloudy.
Isn't that with everybody? Like we can't see it when we're in it, only when we're out of it or when it's somebody else's.
What if we look up Reba's therapy reviews and it turns out she is the warmest, most comforting? People are like, a session with Reba is like a hug from a puppy. when it's others, and then she turns to her daughter. And it's like, you weak little failure.
I was about to say that maybe to her patients, she's like more like a bubbly Paula Deen. I was like, oh, bad example. Terrible example. Yeah. Terrible example.
Well, not necessarily, because there are some theories about Reba's Paula Deen-ish behavior. But she was nicer. She was nicer to well, wait, am I jumping ahead?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
We're all over the place.
We're all over the place.
Yeah. Let's drag it back to LA for a second. Because it was what was it? Dorit, Erika, and Boz?
Because then Dorit says that she had a phone call with PK, and they're all like, and then that's when Boz switches to like hardcore, and I was like, there you go, Boz, because she's like, oh, we talked like, and I love Erika's like, you talked like friends. I know how this, but like both Boz and Erika are like on the same wavelength, and I think again that's like something that Dorit actually has going for her. She doesn't have one friend telling her how it is. She has two. She maybe even has three who are like, yo, this no. He's not. It's I like it when who was it? Boz was like, it's a trick. It's a trick. We're like, yep, it is. She's like, it's the art of war. And I was like, listen to this woman. Listen to both of them.
She's kind of like she's kind of, because you said art of war, it took me right back to Camille Grammer reading the book. And I'm like, Boz is kind of like, what's the word? A benevolent? That means good, right? Not malevolent, not malignant. She's like a benevolent Camille Grammer. In other ways, she sees everyone's issues right through. But then look at her own personal life, and you're like, oh, you're missing the calls coming from inside the house, Boz. Keely Grammer. Yeah, he has a mistress in San Diego.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. She did. Oh,
gosh.
Boz.
Well,
I was going to say Boz. I jumped out of my seat for PCP. She gave Dorit the divorce advice we've been giving you guys on this show since like day one. Like even recently, I remember us talking about it, which is go around town. Say you live in LA, call for consultations with all the top divorce attorneys. And what it does is create a conflict of interest so that they can't represent your partner, even if you don't use them. And so what you're doing is killing your opposition. And then you'll have Laura Wasser, and they'll have some ambulance chaser from a storefront out in the sticks. And that's Boz told her what to do. And
I mean, we've been saying that since I feel like almost episode 1. We've been like, oh my gosh, this is how you do it.
Yeah, like even if you just are in an argument or getting kind of bored and tired of your partner, preemptively, just, I don't know, give some divorce attorneys a call. Just
how far How far along do you have to get in that process, like a consultation? Because I feel like PK could reach out to Laura Wasser and she'd be like, no, I'm not returning this call.
Yeah, that's true. Trying to think. I've wondered what is going on, like Kyle and Mauricio, one of them, which is actually where. I'm sorry, give me a second. The connections are working. When Bo's told her he's trying to keep you still so that he can pounce.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
One of the Umanskis has to be making calls too. I just know it.
1,000%. Well, like when Bo's told her, because Dorit keeps saying about the kids, and she's like, it's not about stop making it about the kids. Stop making it all about the kids. Bo's was 100% right, because that also goes into he's trying to keep you still. He's trying to keep you like calm and happy so that you don't make any moves. And also like Dorit keeps trying to be like, oh, he wouldn't do that. He's not that person. Oh, he's only that person here and here. And the other week, having some conversations with friends, and we're talking about divorces and stuff. And another friend was saying about a really good piece of advice that he once heard was that it was stop looking for reason in pathology. And I was like, oh, whoa, that's so true. Because like Dorit, especially for Dorit, because she's trying to keep finding a reason why PK would act this way, why he would do this. There's no reason.
Mm-hmm.
Like you don't need a reason. He just is acting this way, and take how he's acting as what you need to get out of there.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's going to take anything that he can, any way that you're acting. He's not going to give the shit the reason, and he's going to use it against you in a divorce. Go watch fucking Marriage Story. Go watch that. You can watch like some of like the way that like divorces actually work, but like stop looking for a reason, because again, that's another way that he keeps you still.
Mm-hmm.
And keeps you in one place, just wondering what's going on. Stop wondering what's going on. Take charge of this. Like they're exactly like your friends are telling you to.
Erika,
like, don't pussyfoot around.
The way Erika phrased it, I like. She was like, PK is ruthless in business. He's going to be ruthless in the business of divorce. This is money. Mm-hmm. It's not emotion. He's just going to go for it. And
that's it. Like I said, marriage is a business, so it's a lot about money. So like you like get a prenup even if you don't have any money, and then when you get divorced, watch out, because they're coming for your money.
Yeah.
Like whether you have any money or not, like watch out. Divorces and deaths are when people get weird, when you see the sides of people that you've never seen before. Because when it comes to inheritances and divorces and what people think that they are owed, like people lose their mind. You just see complete other side of people, right, Jordan?
The call is coming from inside the podcast.
Anyhow,
Reba was my therapist through those troubled times.
That's how you got 5150, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if that said anything really good about her then.
Oh my gosh. So we all know I'm perfect and don't care about money or the game of screwing. Yeah, no, not at all. Yeah.
Well, then we go back to the end.
Where is it? Oh, that's right. Yes.
Crab cakes.
The crab cakes. The final scene. I mean, I'm a little sad that they made progress.
You're such a dick.
There were a few backward steps in that, when she was trying to show off her Sutton was trying to show off her what she keep calling it, a capsule, her like green line.
What the fuck is a capsule collection?
I've never heard that term before.
I've been hearing it the last couple of years, and I like clothes, but I'm like, I don't know what the hell this is.
I can tell you what it is essentially, and what Sutton was describing is not really a capsule collection, which is why I think her mother is confused, because a capsule collection usually will be like a one-off group of clothes for the season, like from a guest designer. So say Sutton designed some dresses for Gucci. I'm just making that up. Say there was a collection of holiday dresses, Sutton Stracke by Dolce & Gabbana. That would be like a limited series, just like a little, you know what I mean? But Sutton's like, it's my own brand. And within my own brand, I will be doing subcapsules with it's a capsule collection is literally encapsulated. It's just like a little one-off group of clothes, like with a guest designer within your brand. I don't know what the...
Okay, then that's why I'm confused, because people are using it improperly then all the time.
Yeah, when she was like, you're creating a capsule collection within your own... she wasn't phrasing it well.
She's just creating a collection. She's creating a small collection. Right. That's what she's doing.
She was trying to use like buzzwords. When you see a celebrity guest design something for a brand, that's a capsule collection. Okay. So...
And then she was trying to brag about it to make it seem like this huge thing, explaining what it was. The clothes were made in London or something, and then shipped out of Houston or something. And then Reba's like, "Oh, like ground beef." You know, they say it's made in America, but it's made in Cuba. And Sutton didn't even know what to do with that. Like, no, it's not ground beef.
I didn't know either, because I was like, "Girl, haven't you heard of Cargill? Like beef processors?" Like.
Sutton, if Sutton didn't have a couple vodkas in her at the look she shot her mother at that moment, she was ready to like smash her glass and just...
Speaking of vodka, I think we also know where Sutton got her love of vodka, because we saw Reba pouring herself some really tall ones out of that large Kettle One bottle. Reba can still pour one with that big bottle. Like...
Yeah.
She's not into pink grapefruit juice, but she's into the Kettle One.
Yeah. That was, I caught 82. Now, imagine being Reba. I keep circling it because I'm still processing that Reba is a therapist. Imagine turning on TV and seeing your therapist, and she is drinking vodka at 10 a.m., fighting with a daughter she's incapable of loving. And suddenly you're like, this is who I'm taking advice from.
Honey, that's
she was just criticizing me the other day. She told me to open up and get my life together.
Yeah. How do you process that if you see your own therapist on TV, when asked by her own daughter, just say you're proud of me and that you love me? And then Reba's like, no. Those are both trite and overused. I'm not going to say that. And it's like, oh, wow. Yeah. What exactly does she tell her patients?
What if she tells them how proud she is and that she loves them? That's what
you're a patient of Reba Brown's. Can you please reach out to us?
Yeah. You may
Give us comment. You may be entitled to compensation. Reach out to the non-lawyers of the Pretty Corrupt podcast.
We need to take out billboards in the Augusta area. She's retired now, former patients. Oh my God.
I really loved watching Garcelle and Kyle eavesdrop. Like so many, I said that wrong, eavesdrop. First it was on the stairs, and then they're like around the corner, and Avi's kind of off to the corner too. But that was at one point, Kyle's eyes are like so big. She's like, if I open up my eyes bigger, then my ears will be able to hear more.
It was such like a vaudevillian thing where Sutton walked in and all three of them ran in different directions. Avi like runs down the hall. Kyle tries to run back up the steps. It was great.
Kyle did a better job with it because I was impressed by the way she ran up the stairs and immediately started a reverse course, so it would look like she was mid-stride down the stairs. It's like, you've done this before.
The youngest daughter has, obviously. I also when I felt that Reba was kind of trolling Sutton when she said, well, I was a professional working woman and you became a professional working woman, which was kind of like twisting a knife of like being like, well, you became one too. Like you turned, she said, and she was like, she even said before, you became me. And then she laughed. And then she said, as a professional working woman. And she was kind of like, well, we all turned into our mothers. See, you're turning into me.
Mirror, mirror on the wall. Yeah.
Yep. I mean, I enjoyed Avi trolling Sutton when she was trying to get him to leave, and he was like slowly eating some pickled okra. He was like, yeah.
Oh, Avi had a breakout episode. I loved him in this episode. He was great. It was also funny to see the light bulb go off with Garcelle when she saw how Reba was treating Avi, and then it occurred to her that Reba and Sutton are the same person. And then there was the great montage of them both treating Avi like shit. And what it was, and Garcelle's like, "Yep, I guess the apple doesn't fall far from the tree."
Yeah. They're in Georgia, so I guess the peach doesn't fall too far from the tree. You brought up a good point too. She wasn't raised in the Depression, I guess. 82 would have her born when in the.
She was born post World War II.
Oh, that's right. She said that because I thought about what you said.
44 would be, if she's 82, it'd be 44. 43, excuse me.
Okay.
1943.
Because I had thought about what you said last week about how maybe she was from the wrong side of the tracks or something, had a tougher upbringing. Because she did allude to her childhood here, Reba, where she said, think about how I was raised. No one told me I was pretty. No one told me they loved me, but it didn't matter. You just kept moving. You survived. So I was when she said that, I was like, oh, is she like one of those like rough and like a Dust Bowl child? Because you had said last week you had
like Grapes of Wrath.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I thought about that too. Like, it's kind of interesting. So like, my dad was born in 52 and his sister was born at 40, and his sister was born like before my grandfather went off to the war. And so then he was born after. So in a sense, they got different dads for a bit because I think, I mean, I don't necessarily know. I think my grandfather was the shy person in the first place, but he saw a lot in World War II. Like, he landed on D-Day and he fought in the Battle of the Bulge and he liberated a concentration camp. So that's great that your house phone is ringing at a time that I'm being vulnerable about my grandfather's struggles during World War II. But
to be clear, that was Jordan's phone, not me. If you're only listening to this on audio, that was Jordan's phone. I don't want to get blamed for this.
House phone.
Yeah.
I'm old fashioned like Reba.
Yes. But I think it's true. It's like you know, men who came back from the war, from World War II, they saw so much. I mean, I think any man who comes back from the war comes back from any type of combat or military experience, sees a lot and comes back a different person. And that's felt by the family, like really, but we didn't have the language to talk about PTSD back then. And even up until maybe about 30 years ago, did we really start talking about what war does to a person? Because before it was just shell shock. They're just in shell shock and you know, and they're just like that, as opposed to like what seeing does to people. And I think you see how like war and what you know, men and women go through, but at that time it was just men really, how that gets passed down generationally and what the damage can be done, because who knows what her father was like, what Reba's father was like before he left for the war, and what type of man he might have been if he didn't go off to World War II.
Well, we don't
know what I mean?
He went to World War II.
No, well, I mean, the math would be that she was born in the middle of the war. She would have been born in like 43. So yeah, we don't really know.
Her legal father was off at war, but the milkman.
I mean, seriously.
Let's just sprinkle this all over.
Or maybe he was on leave. Or maybe her mother was a male war bride.
I like that. See?
Maybe Sutton's like 1/3000th Chinese, like Kathy. We don't know. We have no idea.
Yeah.
I know. I did put a lot of presumptions in there. I'm just thinking that every man went off to the war.
I mean, kind of. Especially they seem kind of
honestly.
old,
yeah.
I mean, because my grandfather.
It's fair to assume that. Yeah.
both of my grandfathers were in their early 30s when they were drafted. So like think about that. Like it wasn't just like young men; they were older. So. And that was old for them.
Yeah,
it was old. Or late 20s. Anyway, that's besides the point. But yeah, I just think like it's just generationally like, and yeah, you didn't tell people that.
And also, I'm thinking they come from a long line of So while they went on and on about Sutton's father's drinking and how that played a role in his untimely end, both of them are pouring vodka multiple. There's a line. There's some emotional drinking things going on in that family.
Yeah. There's a lot to unpack there, and we're just seeing a tiny little bit of it for our entertainment.
Yeah.
I'd love to know more about Reba's relationship with the grandkids, because she doesn't seem to like Sutton's kids very much. She said one of them was weird, and then when she's talking about going to visit Sutton for the fashion show, and she doesn't want to stay in the other one's bedroom. Like she doesn't seem to like her grandkids very much.
Yeah,
I'm sure she has a favorite, don't we all?
Well, she didn't bash the granddaughter, so maybe she likes her the most.
Yeah.
Maybe because the granddaughter is going. What's her name? There's Sutton is her Philip, and she has one of those names too. Her daughter.
It's well, isn't there a James, Philip, and I can't remember the daughter's name.
I'm gonna pull it up, but
Porter.
Yeah, it's one of those Sutton. I was trying to. It's kind of like Sutton. It's one of those. Anyway, she's going to law school. Porter. So she too will be a career woman, hopefully, like her grandma, and not a weak, dependent, needy. No, that's how I kind of think. No, I honestly think in a way that's how. Jokes aside, I do think Reba views Sutton as weak. Her whole thing is, I had to stay strong. You don't understand. And look at, you know what I mean? She could the staying at home. And
I have a feeling that there were mixed messages from Reba of like, you need to marry well, you need to get married, you need to do these things, but you also need to be a strong worker. Like there's a lot of mixed message. I feel that she got a lot of mixed messages.
Right.
It's just me. And that's kind of hard because then also like, what are you proud of me for being a working woman? Or are you proud of me for being a mother? Are you proud of me for this? Do you think I'm a failure because I got divorced? Do you think I'm a failure because my store is closed? Like what, there's so much there. I think there's just a lot. Yeah. Anyway, I think there's a lot for Reba to pick on, and because she's not going to pick on herself. She's not self-deprecating, really. No.
So is she? I didn't watch the preview. I'm sorry. Usually I'll be like, okay, so I remember this coming up. I didn't watch it. Did you guys? Because I don't know if Reba follows through on her promise in the end, where they kind of agree to work on it together, that she would come out to LA for Sutton's fashion show.
I don't think it showed it, did it?
Okay.
The preview didn't show that.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Because
it's all about.
That will be the show that you saw headlines and they previewed it, where Kathy stands up in the middle of the run.
Oh yeah, from the mid-season trailer.
So then I got kind of excited because I'm like, oh cool, Kathy and Reba will be in the same room. Not that they won't get along. They're two very powerful women to me, and I think it would be interesting to see the dynamic.
That would be.
Yeah.
The preview was for Dorit's home, the 4th of July party, and it looks like there's Nate. You got it. There's gonna be some fights. There's gonna be some fights. Yep.
I will say this about Reba though. Unlike Kathy, Reba knows how to use FaceTime. She actually, I was shocked when was it Sutton? Whoever, I think it was Sutton, like FaceTimed Reba, and I was like, wow, an 82-year-old knows how to do that.
Yeah.
And then of course, meanwhile, Kathy's just walking around with her phone on the side of her head. Kyle just keeps saying, Kathy, I'm looking at the side of your head.
All Kathy has to do is give Tim Cook a little call. He'll fix that pathetic little Apple box she talks on.
Oh, well, speaking of those pathetic little apple boxes that we talk on.
That's right. You know how easy it is to help us live our dreams? And that is to go to Augusta for spring break and visit with Reba. No, but all you have to do, if you're listening on your phone, a lot of people do, but anywhere you listen, all you have to do is subscribe. Of course, rate, review, subscribe, and share. But definitely just hit that subscribe, and our new episodes will just surprise you, delight you, like the things that come out of Mother Reba's mouth. And so, also, of course, you could follow us. We're on everything: Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Blue Sky, YouTube.
Yep. Don't forget to show us that love, please. Yes. Yeah. We can.
We need to make enough money so that I can buy a Name 'em jumpsuit from Sutton's capsule collection, because I like that Name 'em jumpsuit. I would wear that.
We all need a Name 'em jump. I think we all need a Name 'em jumpsuit so we can wear them on on the podcast. Be like, "Hi, Sutton. Name 'em. Name 'em. Let's do that." Yep.
Well, on that note, I've now moved on from LVP, and I don't know how to do a Southern accent. I don't know how Reba says good.
Yeah.
You don't know how to do any.
I was going to say, if we're being honest, you don't know how to do a British one either.
Name them, y'all. Follow them.
Okay, y'all's okay. Well, y'all's more Texas, but okay. Go ahead.
Subscribe, y'all. I do declare.
I do declare.
I become Scarlett O'Hara if I try to.